So we are going to talk about Redwire today. Let me know if you guys are able to see this. Okay. So I initiated a coverage on Redwire stock on January 22, and as you can see here, okay, I think now the stage is correct. Correct. So can you hear me? Okay, so let's talk about Redwire, and it's a space company with partners like Rocket Lab and NASA. So it caught my attention around January when the stock was around $6 to $7. And I started publicly posting about Redwire around January 22. So here is a video about Redwire as well, which I posted on my channel.
When you think about the new
And the main thing about Redwire is roll out solar arrays, which is kind of a carpet which goes into the space like this, and it expands into space. So now with SpaceX IPO, as SpaceX is gonna provide AI data centers in space, there are other players as well, like Amazon and NASA and all these other players also want data centers of their own. So they are also partnering with Redwire for these solar arrays, and solar energy is like infinite. It's available 24/7. So it's a bull case thesis for Redwire. That's why I was excited about the stock in the first place. So I started buying it around this range, $6 to $7, and um, here as well the insiders also started buying around this range. So I got to know that the company has a floor, and I'm up quite significantly in Redwire. Mm, The gross margins have also improved, and they are growing a lot now. They acquired a brand called Edge Autonomy, and the revenue is up 58%. Mm, There is a possibility of short squeeze also in Redwire, where like shorts have built a massive short interest in Redwire. So the short interest is at record high right now. So let's dive deeper into Redwire. It's a story past inflection, and I see the fair value around 13 to $15. That's why I have some covered calls sold against my position. And I'm heading here as well, so I'm following a wheeling strategy here in Redwire. And Their capital structure is also cleansed because they were having $136 million of debt, and with dilution, they paid off their debt, like 100 million of their debt. And AEI was their primary owner, which uh, IPO'd this company, and they also handsomely pocketed a large profit in this stock. There is a 350 million dilution which remains. So if due to SpaceX hype, Redwire moons and shoots up a lot, then this 350 million at the money equity would trigger, and the company would sell stock to raise cash. So that is why I am a bit skeptical on adding aggressively at these levels. But maybe after SpaceX IPOs and things settle down a bit, then I might add a bit more. So AEI fully exited on May 18th. They have been aggressively selling shares around this range, which is what was triggering a lot of selling pressure. There is also one caveat: the 57% top line growth was bought. So AEI actually gave them their one of their brands who called Edge Autonomy. So Redwire has this defense arm as well, along with space. So they create drones, which are really necessary in this modern warfare. But still, even with this artificial growth, the company is growing, and the company had a yearly increase of 50% in revenue, like 57.9%. So the growth rate has been good for the past 2 to 3 quarters. So with these, their legacy space business is slowing down, and they undercommitted to with like the money they would use to build stuff for NASA, but it was the project costs were too much, and they were not able to complete their build out within the required budget. So that is why Redwire had to go through this brutal chop here in their net operating income, but they are improving significantly. Their market cap is now around 3.5 billion, 3.05 billion, and their net cash is like 54 million. Their net cash has improved a lot. So let's see the cash flow as well. Net income, and let's see net cash. Net change in cash. Yeah, this is an important metric. So you can see the net change in cash is now 50 million. So they were supposed to be bankrupt according to some shorts and some Wall Street analysts, but they improved their brand. They insiders refused to give up on the company, and they bought aggressively around $6 range, which was when I it was the time when I got the signal as well that insiders are buying this stock. So that's why I entered with a decently sized position and have booked approximately 40 to 50% of my position here. And I'll continue adding in it depending on SpaceX IPO. Mission critical aerospace hardware. So they have all these clients like the Department of Defense, Civil Space, NATO, and commercial. And this is their revenue, 97 million. They have these products like roll out solar arrays in space manufacturing, the drones, and this is their newest venture, which is like creating medicines in space so that gravity doesn't affect the arrangement of their medicines and avionics as well. Peter Canito is the turnaround operator who was the CEO of Polaris and operating partner at AE Industrial Partners, and he is the architect who saw the vision of dual space and defense tech pivot, which is like uh, he envisioned the company to be a player in space and also in defense with drones. And these are the other executives as well. They completed their $925 million Edge equity acquisition, which was their defense arm. As we know that US defense budgets far exceed 1 trillion and the Edge autonomy brand of Redwire is poised to capture a significant amount from this. And they are also expanding their um, contracts with NATO and Ukraine. So this company has a lot of tailwinds behind it, and interest rate exposure is also gonna be significant impact on this company because they already refinanced their debt and they can refinance their debt in the future as well. So as interest rates cut, then they will uh, save on interest payments to their lenders, and the multi-year contracted backlog is also insulated from like the current macro cycles. This is kind of a red flag that they increase their share count and they might increase it in future as well. That is why I am selling covered calls to take um, like some gains from the volatility in this stock. Liquidity risk is not eliminated totally, but it is like it has been transferred to the continuous equity dilution, which can happen in the future as well. So you have to be aware of that. And as you see, the 15% dilution risk which they had is dead as AEI partners have exited the company. They have around 13 quarters of liquidity with them, which covers around 3 years of operating burn at the Q1 run rate. But if they become free cash flow positive, then they will be in a better position to deal with all this. Operating burn at the Q1 run rate. But if they become fresh, this is their backlog, which has grown. Edge autonomy is also a significant contributor, and the backlog is actually bought, not built. So this means that they basically had to buy up this brand, the defense arm, and this is how they made sure that they have enough liquidity and future contracts. Their gross margins are also improving. So with the Edge Autonomy brand, it has higher gross margins as compared to their space arm. So that is why we can see that this gross margin improvement is happening. And 20% gross margins are good, like 26%. So they can in the future become profitable and manage their cash better. As you can see, their EBITDA has also improved. So this company was poised to go bankrupt, and now this has turned around a lot, which you can see in the stock price as well. The volume has also improved a lot as compared to earlier years, and I like this chart a lot. So this company ran up a lot, and then they diluted and then consolidated for a while. And with the SpaceX IPO coming up, it went up ahead and it shot up. It reached around 25, 26 bucks, but mm, it fell down and then the insiders bought over here. So this is when I entered, and my next goal would be to add some more in this because I feel the SpaceX momentum can get continue rip up higher, and the AI data center thesis in space is also legit, with sun being the infinite power source in the world. So Redwire is gonna benefit from their solar array, their expertise, and um, they have like multi decades of their execution and their reputation. So right now, analysts are not taking into account this pillbox and microgravity business of theirs, where they are gonna do biotech research about it in the International Space Station. But this can also turn out to be a high margin business in the future, which can add another segment to their revenue and roll out solar arrays as their most popular and most famous product. Let's see this Stalker Block 30 as well, which is Edge Autonomy's product. Yeah, this one. This is their drone.
This is Pocket. I never
Oh,
go anywhere without
YouTube
it.
ads.
At the tap of a button.
So you can see this drone, and it does not take a lot of area. for it to fly up, autonomous takeoff. And Redwire also has satellites in the space, so it makes complete sense, like their drone business along with this.
This is Pocket. I never go anywhere without.
Infrared camera, wow, that's interesting. Automatic target tracking capability, okay. Their planes can, their drones can take off in snow as well, so that's nice. Okay, droppable. So this product can also be used for deliveries, maybe. Yeah, this is an important point. In space, the ultimate barrier to entry is not capital or talent. It is a documented history of survival in launch acoustics and orbital thermal radiation. A Silicon Valley startup cannot replicate it. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Like, the reputation which you build over the years, that's kind of a big thing which Redwire has developed. $500 million satellite cannot fail because of $50,000 solar array mechanism jammed. Yeah, so they have a lot to abide by, a lot of regulations. Space-related certifications take years and hundreds of millions to acquire, which is what Redwire did. And their defense stickiness. Once Stoker is woven into US Army, the switching cost becomes prohibitive for Department of Defense. Okay. So these are some companies which are there in the same field as Redwire. Tier 2 space firms Rocket Lab, Planet Labs, and Spire Global. They also partner up with Redwire for certain things. And with the $1 trillion military budget for United States, I think edge autonomy can get a significant chunk of it, or like which helps like Redwire to get some millions of dollars of contracts. They compete with Kratos, Anduril, and Aero Environment, EV. So as you can see, the shorts had also lost the bankruptcy bet as of now. I don't know what can happen in the future, but as of now, they had to capitulate. They have around $500 million of backlog, which is funded already, and they have a good book to bill ratio of 1.92. So, and also, th this is another thesis, the IDIQ, which is like a surveillance program for another space or other space objects which US is trying to build, and there are like 14 to 15 brands which are gonna get a significant chunk of revenue and contracts. IDIQ. The US space awarded 14 defense contractors positions on Andromeda multiple award contract IDIQ carrying an expanded ceiling of 6.2 billion to develop the next generation RGXS space segment. It's designed to replace aging satellites with qualified geosynchronous Earth orbit surveillance reconnaissance spacecraft. Okay. So there are some other companies as well, like QuantumScape, Redwire, Turion, Intuitive Machines. So this is another catalyst for them. And Redwire's valuation has been compressed as compared to its peers like Rocket Lab, Planet Lab, ASTS, Intuitive Machines. Redwire is the cheapest amongst them with the price to sales ratio. But it's also for a reason due to their bankruptcy risks in the past. So this is the discounted cash flow valuation of Redwire, and we are taking a discount rate of 10%, and their contracted backlogs around 500 million. So uh, their debt maturity is in 2029. So the company is currently at a decent pace to survive. And I'm accumulating in this 12 to $13 of range where I will be selling cash secured puts to enter into this stock, and when there is extreme fear, and I will be selling covered calls when there is extreme euphoria. So to pocket the difference, and yeah, let's see if it breaks 52-week high, then I might take profits on my leaps as well. So yeah, let's see if Redwire is able to sustain its multiple. Okay, so that's it for me for this stream, and we'll be back with another stock in the future. Signing off.